Okay, Merry Meet, and I would like to take the time so I can explain my altar and all the other sort of pagan-y, Wiccan stuff in my room. Alright, so first let's do my regular altar. Alright, so you guys don't think I'm like crazy or anything. This way, facing this way is north, and the closest to me is east. And I did set them up by direction, so... Okay, let's get started. In the north, we have... Here's... If I can get it all together. Triple goddess symbol that I made out of clay. And a bag of my crystals. Let's look at my little crystal collection that I have. Alright, in my bag, and just so you know, these have all been cleansed and consecrated and charged. Anyway, so here's my big piece of quartz. Alright. And then my two amethysts. It sounds weird, but yeah. Two amethysts. My homemade pendulum that I kind of dropped. As you can see, it's just a piece of quartz that I wire wrapped and put on a chain. Nothing fancy, but I love it. Botswana agate. Carnelian. Blue laced agate. Smoky quartz. Rose quartz. And a few other ones that I really don't feel like explaining right now because it's kind of hard for me to memorize all of them. But anyway, alright. And then I have a rune right there. It's the rune of the sun, which means victory and all that I, try to accomplish. I shall accomplish it, basically. Alright, now, while I just stare at my owl and bell for a minute while I put my stones up. Trying to move quickly, but I really don't have any editing, so any sort of editing software, so just bear with me, please. I'm so sorry. Alright, so moving on to the east, which is air. I have my owl to represent air. Usually I have an incense burner here, but since it kind of got more crowded, I've had to move my incense burner, and my censer is too big to put here. I have a bell, which, as you all know, bells are usually for the feminine side of the divine, the goddess and her womb, but I love this one because it brings them together with the stag. So it's the god and the goddess, and even though the stag's on top, I don't really look at it as male dominating female. I don't look at it that way, even though some people have said it kind of, projects that type of look, and no, I don't look at it that way. I look at them both as equal. It just happened to come like that. A homemade candle holder out of clay. Yes, it is big enough. I made the hole by pushing a candle in it, and here's a smaller one with a pentacle on the bottom. Made out of clay again. I have to clean my altar. Just finished burning. I reused the tea light candles as little candle holders. If y'all didn't know, there's a little tip. See, there's one here. All Yule colors, because Yule just passed by a few days ago. So, yeah. Alright. Now in the south, I have... Oops, sorry. My candle holder. It's a big one. It's covered in wax. A dragon. Well, a turtle dragon, but a dragon nonetheless. And yeah. Alright, and lastly, west, I have a big shell holding other shells, and my offering bowl, which should be in the center, but it had condensation on it, and I didn't want it to ruin my clay-made pentacle. And then there's another pentacle. I have two, just because I originally made that one and I like it too much to get rid of it. And this is my bigger one, which I usually put my offering bowl on top of in the center, usually like that. But I didn't want condensation to get on top of it. ruin it or leave a ring or anything. You're probably wondering what all these little things are laying around. Well, whenever I went to my first official Yule ritual at my store, well, not my store, I just call it my store because I'm there all the time and I love it. Before the ritual started, we all went out back and smashed geodes, which, if you don't know, geode is basically what forms a crystal. Regular rock on the outside, then we smashed it with a hammer, and ta-da! Mine held a whole bunch of little quartz. Alright, now moving on. Up here's just a little shelf that I keep jars and stuff on. And then over here might be kind of hard to see. Let me turn the light on. Alright, still kind of hard to see. Let's move the light. I don't know if that helped, but anyway, I'll just, yeah. Another identical owl, which, if you can't tell, I love owls because there's more owls right there. I don't know if you can see them, but they're there. And they're holding feathers. And then I have a big feather. By the way, this is my altar. This is kind of just where I hold a lot of stuff. Bigger feather that my friend gave me. Another shell. A small teapot I'm giving my friend for Yule, which a late Yule present though, because she only came by to get it. My big censer I was talking about, and as you can see, it's the size of my hand. A cat made out of brass, because I love cats, and yeah. My mortar and pestle, made out of lodestone. Yeah. Another mortar and pestle I made out of pure clay, which the pestle's upside down, but yeah. Tiny bell. This has a little string around it for purity. And my tea infuser I got at a flea market, actually. Shaped like a heart. Good for self-love teas, love teas, anything like that. Then the pinnacle above this shelf, which I just made out of a coat hanger and hung it up. And then I made poppets, one for the male and female. Yep. And this whole thing just has my books, herbs and jars and all my other witchy stuff in it. But yeah, I feel like I'm dwelling a little bit, making this video a little too long, so blessed be and merry part, and I'll see you again soon.